Records don't necessarily mean anything, and we heard it earlier. Sal's head coach Bill Singler has been through 23 of these matchups. The situation's been going on for a couple of hours now. SWAT standing by outside of the home where Benjamin Foster originally allegedly had bound and beaten a woman. She is still in critical condition at the hospital. Unfortunately, no, Carmine, it won't be back to business for a while. I spoke with ODOT spokesperson Gary Leeming earlier, and he said the hardest part about these closures is that it's not just open the floodgates, it's going to take some time to ease traffic back to normal. Finally, a breath of fresh air, and quite literally when I drove into Wairika this morning, the sky was completely clear. You could actually see the mountain ridge behind Wairika High School, which I hadn't been able to see up until this point. Now that's because the McKinney fire is now 40% contained, still burned just roughly over 60,000 acres. Crews really able to get a good handle on it, and they'll be monitoring that. We'll see a slight increase in that acreage burn in the next few days as they work to build up that containment. So far, all we know is that the fire is at the Pacific Pride fueling station, and so you could imagine when you have nothing but fuel, the fire is absolutely massive. Ambar mentioned explosions being heard earlier. We just heard some crackling and things being sent into the air. They've got over 8 engines here controlling the fire. Medford PD setting up a half-mile radius evacuation right now. Pacific Power, the power just shut off in this area right before we started the newscast. Fire crews are starting to fill in for that evening briefing. That'll happen at 7, where we'll hopefully get more updated numbers. The McKinney fire, we last heard confirmed acreage is about 55,000 acres burned with 0% containment. Now those houses leveled by flames. There have been multiple structures that are a total loss, and that's all along Highway 96 up until about Doggett Creek is where I about made it earlier today. No confirmed number yet on structures burned. However, there are about 5,000 total structures threatened at this time. Earlier today, we did unfortunately learn about those 2 fatalities, 2 people who burned in their vehicle parked in their driveway.
Good news for commuters who take State Route 96 near Happy Camp. The road now open to controlled one-way traffic. That was approximately 4 miles west of Happy Camp following that rock slide that shut down the highway just last week. And if you're a driver who frequents I-205 up north, you might already know about plans for tolling in the future. Yet many in the local community, they're not very excited about the project, including some governments. And today, Jackson County grand jury indicted 2 suspects in an assault case. Today marks the first ever U.S. auction of leases to develop commercial-scale floating wind farms off the West Coast. 43 companies are expected to bid during the live online auction for the 5 California leases, 2 of which are off the northern coast. Hell is coming to visit you personally and send heavily armed bachelors. Both are quotes from State Senator Brian Boquist in response to Governor Kate Brown and Senate President Peter Courtney informing Republican lawmakers that Oregon State Police would arrest them if they walked out of the Capitol. Now, this all happened back in 2019, and today Oregon's Senate Conduct Committee reversed a decision 3 years ago after those comments. State House reporter Christina Giardinelli listened in on today's meeting into what happened following the 2019 Republican walkouts.
Really excited to show you guys a exciting hairpiece tomorrow. So
yes, well, this is not a wig. This is not a wig.
Toupee.
This is a piece that Tyler did on hair for our hoop players in the Rogue Valley.
Yes,
Very
exciting.
Oh, I was hoping it was something I could wear.
We'll work on that for you, Milt.
A fugitive from San Diego taken into custody today in Cave Junction. According to the Josephine County Sheriff's Office, deputies learned this morning that Anthony Dwayne Siddle, who is wanted for homicide in San Diego, was in the Cave Junction area. The suspect in last Monday's robbery at First Interstate Bank has been arrested. According to Grants Pass Police, Donald Denny was arrested on Saturday afternoon. After receiving multiple tips, photos, and videos, detectives were able to identify Denny. While the Jackson County Sheriff's Office was looking for Denny, he called and surrendered, and once detained, he was turned over to Grants Pass Police. Denny is facing robbery and theft charges.